to call the committee of the whole to order. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Basham.
Here.
Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Here.
Commissioner Clemente. Commissioner Dobb.
Here.
Commissioner Hattis. Commissioner Colleen.
Here.
Commissioner Kenlock.
Present.
Commissioner Kenizic has requested an excuse. Commissioner Morecki. Commissioner Baker McCormick has requested an excuse. Commissioner Scott.
Aye.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun.
Here.
Vice Chair Palomero.
Here.
Chair Bell.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you so much. Feels like 2019. We're back in this room. We had moved downstairs, of course, during the pandemic. So now here we are back in the room where we have our committee of the whole meeting. Today, we're going to, of course, talk about the budget. After we do the approval of the minutes, I'll make some remarks and then I'll turn it over to the Chair of Ways and Means. Next item for approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes from the June 8th, 2023
So moved.
meeting.
Been moved and supported. All in favor of the minutes? Say aye. Any opposed? Anyone wish to abstain?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
Chair's remarks.
So we are here today to discuss with everyone the budget for the 23-24 year. I want to thank our dedicated staff who work tirelessly to not only do the budget, but to do the regular work that comes before us. Thank you to our fiscal team led by Mr. Terrence Adams. This is Terrence's first year as fiscal director, first budget under his belt as fiscal director, and he did an awesome job. Thank you, fiscal director Terrence. Our first year having Chair Kenlock as the Ways and Means Chair. Thank you, Chair Kenlock, for your hard work. I know you are not new to this process in general, but you're new to the Wayne County Commission process. So thank you for your leadership on the budget and all of the members of the committee who worked tirelessly and had meetings here at the Guardian Building, out in the community, working with the administration to make sure that we had a budget and it will be on time and balanced. Although we didn't get it as timely as we would have liked, we were able to persevere and get it done. And that's thanks to all of the persons here in the room today. So what I will do at this time, when we get to the item E1, I'm going to pass it over to Chair Kenlock, and he'll be assisted by Fiscal Advisor Adams to go through the 23-24 budget and the budget language. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Unfinished business, there is none listed. We're moving to item E1, new business forwarded from the Committee on Ways and Means, meeting held on September 19th, 2023. Approval of the recommended comprehensive executive budget and appropriations ordinance for fiscal year 23-24 and the projected budget for fiscal year 24-25. Technical amendments 1 through 26 to the Wayne County Executive's budget and appropriations ordinance and the budget language.
Okay, thank you. Chair Kenlock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I would like to once again thank you for the appointment as Chair of the Committee of Ways and Means. But also I'd like to thank you for appointing a fantastic group of colleagues to serve on that committee who worked extremely hard. They communicated with me regularly and specifically wanted to make sure that the will and the thoughts of the commission was part of the budget that would be proposed. We had a number of great ideas from not only the committee members, but also the commissioners who understood the importance of our role as county commissioners in making sure that the most important policy authority that we have, and that is the establishment of the budget, that our fingerprints, our voices were part of this budget. I want to thank the staff. Definitely have to thank the staff because this was my first time as chair of the committee, but it also was the first time that I was dealing with staff like in the wee hours of the night. I want to thank Terrence. I want to thank Mary. The staff was just excellent in making sure that I as chair and the committee was made aware of various issues in the budget as far as how it was structured. And the staff worked very hard, Mary Carr, Stacy Bowser, Alicia Rawls, very hard in making sure that by the time it got to this table, it had all the necessary information for us to do our work. I want to definitely thank management and budget, because what they did as far as making sure that they followed the experience and the lead and worked very closely with our staff and making sure that the budget was presented to form, and they've answered various questions associated with the items that were inside of that budget. So it was a lot of work both put into developing a budget we took into account, of course, we had a number of staff changes in regards to within the Office of Management and Budget. I cannot go without saying thank you to the Wayne County Executive and the Deputy County Executive, Assad Turfy and Warren Evans, for their cooperation in making sure that our voices were heard and agreeing to work with us in a harmonious way to address things that sometimes departments disagreed with the recommendations from various commissioners, but the county executive and the deputy county executive and the chair stood and with the commission to move these things forward. So this budget, I'm very proud to say, is reflective not only of the budget priorities of the county executive, the various departments, but also the commission priorities as well. But before I turn it over to Terrence, I want to say the appropriation ordinance is one part of our role. The additional part and most important part of our role is the implementing of the various programs through the budgetary and appropriations process. So yes, we're approving this budget, but we, both the chair, Terrence, and our staff and Felicia has made it very clear that these appropriations require additional action by this commission when it comes to developing some of the new and needed programs that have been outlined by the various departments. So this is our first part. We have some other things to do. At this time, I'm done talking. I will now turn over to Terrence Adams for the purpose of going over the general overview of both the comprehensive budget, but also the technical amendments and the budget instructions. Terrence.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, first, I'd like to say thank you to Chairwoman Bell and the whole commission as a whole for the appointment to fiscal advisor and support throughout the year. Thank you to Commissioner Kenlott. I told him when he was appointed that I promised him that I'd get him through his first budget painfully.
Thank you.
Well, it was painful. No, I told him it was going to be painful, but we get through it. And once again, I also like to thank my staff, Mary, Elisa, and Stacy, on the great job that they did this year. Stacy's only been here a little over a year, and Elisa's only been here 4 months. So she came in and really did a good job, and I'm proud of it, all of them. This year's budget, if approved by the commission, after all technical amendments, will be a $2.02 billion budget. That budget consists of about 475 general fund, general purpose tax dollars. The budget includes a couple highlights, from the commission, about $7 million to the Rose Initiative, about 150 to Can Therapeutic, about 160 for a weed whacker for the county, about $3 million to small nonprofit businesses in the county, about $600,000 for development skills programs at WC3, Henry Ford Community College, and Schoolcraft. And the CEO and there's new programs in HHVS for the community. So this budget incorporated a lot of new things. And for our budget language, most of our budget language was this repeats, but we had a couple new one reports from the sheriff's office regarding the satellite offices, engaging in more reports regarding the ARPA dollars that has been spent and plans to be spent. I know management and budget is online. I think Rod Whittaker, the chief deputy, if he has any additional highlights to this budget, he can step in. I believe his budget also has an increase in compensation for employees at a minimum around 2.5 to 3% across the board. Is there anything else, Rob, that you'd like to say?
Thank you, Terrence, and I apologize as this is my first budget. I'm not
He's on
able to be
Zoom.
there. Sorry, can you hear
Rob
me?
Whittaker,
Hello?
John Wallace.
Can I?
Checking. I guess not.
We're
Okay.
trying to get-
Terrence, you want to continue?
Go ahead. We'll wait till we get the technical difficulties going on.
Hey,
Okay. Also a couple other highlights for budget legal instructions. We're requesting a couple reports from the Department of Personnel regarding a summary of reasons when employees are leaving the county, summary of why they're leaving, that from their exit interviews, not necessarily the exit interviews themselves, but why they're leaving, what was the reasons, and also from where they worked at, what elected official department, so we can see why people may be leaving a certain department or a certain elected official. If it's like the sheriff, they're going to other places, it was paid, or, so that's something that can help the commissioners understand why people are leaving the county. And also, we asking for in-depth
Book up are on page 17 of the budget language
sorry, man.
package. And since you have the floor, Terrence, why don't you start off the way I wanted to go, continue with the budget language changes.
Okay.
So you have it on page 17, the ones you just mentioned. We'll go through all of them, the highlights. Most of them are just changing the dates, but there are a couple of recommendation instructions like the ones on page 17. I think the next one is on page 22.
So the one on page 20. Locations, we're just asking various items like how many employees actually work there, how many people actually come through there, what's the cost, if there are different vehicles, things, there's more in-depth information on the sheriff's satellite locations. So that's on page 22. On page 25, what we did there for numbers 2 and 3 was just split them out. I think this current year, it was one budget instruction, but there was a lot going on in that. So we just split into two different budget instructions. The next big one is on page 32. We have a couple new ones there with the economic development. The first one, number 15, is asking for a report how Simca spent various ARPA dollars that was assigned to them. Number 16 was asking for a report on the ERAP programs. Number 16 was for fiscal year 22-23, and then number 17 would be for the next fiscal year, 23-24. And number 18 was another report asking more detailed information on the progress of the ARPA funds of what's been approved and what's plans to be approved whenever submitted to the commission. And the page 34 was a budget instruction for the Juvenile and Youth Services regarding the Warrant Enforcement Bureau program. Just getting further information on statistics of that program. And I believe that's all new. And just as a reminder, on page 42, the tax levy will be fully updated once the commission approves the budget as a whole, based on the various technical amendments in the budget.
Thank you. And at this time, I would like to ask, are there any questions associated with the budget instructions and or the technical amendments?
Yes.
Commissioner Basham?
Well, you had mentioned on item 22, there was talk about the satellite locations, the sheriff's office and so on and so forth. Page 22, ma'am.
Of the budget instructions.
Of the, yeah. So, the county owned the property sheriff's office at Henry Ruff and Michigan Avenue, which was center of the county. The administrations and previous administrations never maintained that property. We have an obligation to maintain it. We didn't. And it had a gun range in it. Now, as I'm hearing it, now we start talking about satellite offices. There's a strong rumor that the sheriff wants to move the sheriff's office to Livonia, which is Middle Belt and 96, which is like 50 some miles from downriver. Okay, and the reason they picked the central location years and years ago for the hospital and also the sheriff's office, it was the center of the county. Wasn't in my district, but it was the center of the county. It was also close to the freeways and close to the parks and close to Detroit where they did a lot of work. And to move, we talk about we don't have the manpower now to actually maintain some of the sheriff's duties. So there's millions in overtime that we pay. And this rumor is that the sheriff, and nothing's come in front of this commission as of today that I know of about a different location, over $1 million location out in Middle Belt and 96. That is, I'm told, being pushed by the sheriff's department. And again, nothing's coming in front of us. I think individually, I have no juice at all. But if 8 of us stick together, we actually control the county if we do our jobs, And to have us come in front of for an up or down vote on something as important as not maintaining our buildings that we've had for many years, mold in them, the roof's bad, they can say, well, at least we own the property. But to want to just go to another location at the far end or northern end of the largest county in the state of Michigan, and those sorts of things, we should have, in my opinion, a formal discussion, especially when we're talking about budget. And so there's a reason I'm a skunk at the picnic, is I'm trying to do my job and then go home at night. And I think that the commission has a responsibility to find out about these satellite locations. And is it going to be a permanent move by the sheriff to go to that location? I've seen work orders where the sheriff turned down their own request for work on the Henry Ruff location. They turned it down, not the administration. And it's like, so you can't just make up your mind and move to a different location. And, I just think this whole thing smells. Okay.
Thank you. Let me address that. So this budget language here is not for the location you're speaking of on Middle Belt. This is for the location that they have somewhere else. Michigan Avenue. Right. That's what this budget lays in regards to. Council, do you want to speak to this? I think this was your recommendation on.
Right, through the chair, a
Yeah.
few years ago, as everyone is aware, the sheriff began to have a satellite office as indicated on Michigan Ave. He indicated, I believe in budget this year, that he is looking at potentially having other satellite offices. Due to the fact that there were some concerns related to how that initial satellite office came to be, and that contract still hasn't come before this body, we thought it would be, for the satellite offices, we thought it would be important to make sure that there's a report so that this body would be made aware, so that there are any additional concerns that we can follow through on those, because again, that initial contract still hasn't come here.
Thank you.
And to that point, if I may, we're supposed to ensure there's nothing been in front of us to ensure those satellite locations. Also, rumor has it, there's not a lot of foot traffic that comes in those locations at all. Yeah, but we're not using full-time sheriffs to maintain it. We're using reserves. Still, we're not, insuring it. And if there's nobody coming in there, then why are we even have it? Is it a tax break for the person that owns a building or something like that? I mean, why are we doing it? I don't know. But we have a responsibility to dig down in some of this stuff, not just do an up or down vote.
Okay, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Kinlock?
Yes, Mr. Rob Whittigan, the Deputy CFO, is available now to bring comment to the committee.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, good morning. Rob Whittigan, Chief Deputy CFO for the county. I just wanted to say, well, first, I apologize for the technical issues and apologize for not being in person as I have a cough and I don't feel like anyone wants me to share that.
Appreciate it.
But I just want to thank, first, I'll thank the budget team for their hard work as the Ways and Means Chair had mentioned. There has been some turnover in M&B, and without them, it would have been very difficult to get through this process. So I thank them greatly for all their support and knowledge that they shared with me. And I also thank Terrence and his team, and Mary and Ways and Means Chair for their patience as this budget was later than normal, which is a process we aim to fix for next year. But we appreciate everyone's patience and taking the time to educate us as we get through this and work together to submit your budget. So I will stop talking now and let you get on with the process, and thank you very much.
Okay, also, Madam Chair, I absolutely want to say thank you to Eddie Fakori and Darcel Brown. They served as traffic cops, making sure all the various departments communicated both with you, myself, and our staff to get information in a timely fashion. So I appreciate their role in this process as well. And I would like to ask, are there any additional questions associated with the budget instructions and or the technical amendments?
Yeah, I have a list.
Okay,
Melissa Dobb and then
thank you.
Glenn Anderson.
I'm all set. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just wanted to thank my colleague to my right here that he brought this up, and I realized that this is not the location on Henry Ruff that we're talking about. But and I realize it's a little off topic, but it's got to come up sometime. And I think a COW meeting is the time for us to discuss this, and down the road, I hope we will do that before we just get dropped on us like this is decision up or down on one location. And we need to have a full discussion of that, and the commission needs to be involved in that decision. So I hope the message gets through to the administration of the Sheriff's Department that we want to be involved in that decision.
Thank you. We will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions on the budget, on either the budget instructions and or the technical amendments?
Madam Chair.
We need a question. Somebody got a question? Somebody have a question?
Madam Chair.
Not you.
No. I'm gonna make a motion.
I'm waiting on the question.
Okay.
I'm waiting on- Any other discussion? Commissioner Kinlock.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move approval of the comprehensive, I move that it be recommended to the full board that the comprehensive executive budget and appropriations ordinance for fiscal year 2023-2024 and the projected budget for fiscal year 2024-2025, technical amendments 1 through 26 to the Wayne County Executives 2023-2024 recommended comprehensive budget and appropriations ordinance 2023-31-016 and budget language instructions 2023-69052. Move that it be forwarded to the full board for approval.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyone wish to abstain?
Motion carries.
Okay. Again, thank you all for your hard work to get this budget to us in a timely manner. We're moving this on to full board, a special full board meeting, which will be next Tuesday at 10 a.m. We'll have this budget and we'll also have a few other items that the administration is requesting to get through before the end of the fiscal year. Okay, I'm sorry, not special, just an additional full board meeting. I guess there's some terminology. Tuesday at 10 a.m., we'll have an additional full board meeting where we will formally bring this budget to the full board, as well as a few other items that the administration would like us to dispose of. Next item, Madam Clerk. Is it? Oh, okay. We will have full board next Tuesday at 12:30. An additional full board meeting at 12:30 on Tuesday to dispose of the budget for the 23-24 fiscal year. 12:30 Tuesday, the 26th. For the record. That's it. No. Well, we will have a few more items, but the main baby will be the budget. There may be about 4 or 5 additional items on the agenda as well.
There are other.
Yeah, there's regular Tuesday meetings on that day as well, prior to the 12:30 full board meeting. Okay, all right. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
There are no other matters.
Public comments.
Is there anyone in the room who would like to give comments on the budget on today? Anyone in the room? Anyone on Zoom? Any emails?
No emails were received.
Any public comments? Anywhere? Public comments?